Hi, my name is Chris Schmedes. My wife Megan and I are small groups coaches here at the Well. I myself run the men's groups. Megan coaches the women's groups, and then together we coach the freedom groups as well. So if we haven't had an opportunity to come across your path, we hope to very soon. So today I'm going to talk about the power of words as a leader. I know that seems like a really broad, overarching statement, words as a leader. And to say that our words as leaders is really important is a really big understatement. But I want to talk today about the power of our words. So to get there, first, I think we need to talk about where our words are coming from, and that's our heart. In our heart, God has put passion and put ambition in our heart. And so when we're able to speak through that, let's see how things kind of turn out. So recently, I have been going through an unexpected job search. Came out of left field, as they often do. Wasn't prepared for it. So I was starting fresh with looking for a new job. As I was going through this process, I was getting some traction on some things, but I always like to make sure that I reach out to some of my accountability partners to really kind of run things by them. So that's what I wanted to do. I had some great offers, some great opportunities, and I was going to give them the facts, just cold, hard facts to help me make a decision. As I was talking to everybody, there were two conversations that I had specifically where when I was done talking, they said, well, I think it's obvious which one you should take. And I was very confused by this. I was like, how would I know which one I should take? That's what I'm coming to you for. I was so confused by this. When I talked to them, I didn't want to make it obvious, and I didn't understand what was so obvious to them. So I asked them what exactly they meant. They said, the way that you talked about this one opportunity was different than the others. I could tell that you were excited about it. So I was excited about it, which was interesting because I went into those conversations specifically thinking to myself that I was just going to give the facts. I wanted to get an honest opinion. Frankly, all of the opportunities that landed in front of me, I would have been happy with. But I think that what they witnessed and what I wasn't prepared to understand was that there was one opportunity that I wouldn't just be happy with, I'd be excited about as well. That came through in my words, and I didn't even mean for it to come through in my words. It's just one of those things that when God places something on your heart, you're going to speak of it in a way that is truly exciting to others. So our heart truly does come through in our words, even when we don't mean for it to. So this last weekend, Megan and I, in all of this snow, we were sitting on the couch, and she turned on a show on Hulu. It's a show, it's called In and of Itself. In and of Itself. It's a stage show. It's from New York. It's really amazing. It's actually one of the best things I've ever seen to help people understand what their identity is. And it's an amazing show. It's a stage show by a magician, so that's kind of threaded throughout these stories that are happening through this stage show. But there's one part, without giving too much away, where he picks somebody from the audience and he presents them with a letter from somebody that they know. And they open the letter and they start to read through the letter. And the first couple times that I watched this, and I watched it multiple times, I have to admit to you, I was so amazed by it. But the first couple times that I watched it, I was like, how did he do that? How did he pick somebody out of the audience and give them this letter that they read? And it was obviously from somebody that they knew. But then I started to realize that wasn't the magic part. What the magic part was, as these people were reading these words of affirmation from somebody that loved them, the true raw emotion that was coming through was just unbelievable. I actually cried. I cried every single time that I watched that part. So it really started making me think how powerful words can be and how those words can be, can bring that joy. So as leaders, what does that mean to us? I started looking into some scripture. First Thessalonians 5:11, therefore encourage one another and build one another up. Okay, that's pretty good. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as is fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." That's pretty good too, right? Like these are things that we would hear when we're talking to others. But this is the one that really hit me. Like this one really hit me as I was going through, was Hebrews 10:24 through 25. "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and do good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day draw near." Stir up one each other to love and do good works. So I'm sitting there thinking, wow, I see these stories of these words, how they're affecting people. And I start to realize that, hey, my words can have those effects too. So what we need to do to create that excitement, if we are going to do his good work, there's one thing that we as leaders need to understand. We need to speak truth, and we need to make sure it is his truth. Do you remember what it was like when you first had this passion for Jesus? We call it being on fire, right? It's a wonderful feeling when you're introduced to Christ and you just want more and you want to keep taking it in, keep doing all these things. Whenever we see somebody that is going through that step, that's being really introduced to a personal relationship with Christ, that's what we say. We say they're on fire. So, but here's the thing. The enemy, he hates that. Like, he wants to lull us back into our everyday. He wants that fire to go out. And for somebody that really loves fire, this is one fire that he does not want. So, we need to have an understanding of how we can keep that fire burning. We need to lead through him so that that fire doesn't go out. It allows us to speak from our hearts. It allows us to speak with an excitement of what we are doing. It allows us to be loving and transparent and to open to those around us because we're allowing God to work through us at that point. So being a believer is exciting. We can't even comprehend what the Lord has in store for us. Being a leader is exciting. We can allow God to work through us and have a great effect on those around us. Being part of something is exciting. Being in a place where we can celebrate others and be celebrated for loving and doing good works, it's just awesome. So here's my question to you. How do you talk to your dream team? What do you talk to your dream team about? How do you communicate with your small group? How do you talk to your coworkers? What do you say when you invite people into something that you are part of? Here are some of the keys that I've come up with that I think can really effectively change how you're communicating. So first off, and the most important, is allow God to work through you. You need to stay on fire. He's like that perfect boss that realizes that he's got it. And so you're going to go out and you're going to go and do this great work. And then you come back to him and tell him all the great stories of things that are happening. And he's like, awesome, keep doing that. That's our relationship with God. That's what he wants from us, right? Second, we need to talk about what we're excited about. When people see the excitement, they want to be a part of that, especially when it comes to God's work. We just have to remember that we're always doing God's work. No matter what we are doing, who we are talking to, that is an opportunity to be doing God's work. We need to speak truth. This does not mean that we're always just a raw moment. It means that there are going to be hard conversations. There'll be hard things to go through. We just need to make sure that we are speaking truth in those moments. So in the freedom groups that we do, there's one statement in there that always comes back into my mind. And that is that we're either walking towards God or walking away from God. With every decision that we make, we're walking towards him or walking away from him. There's no gray area there. So stay out of living in that gray area. Be walking towards him. It's that simple. Tell people how much you appreciate them. You have no idea the effect it can have on them. Make sure it is genuine and specific. Tell them exactly what it is that you appreciate them And what does it take to be genuine? You need to actually think through it and be grateful for it. Here's the thing. I'm not a techie person. Thank God there are technical people. I'm not a person that can do repetitive tasks over and over. Thank God there are people that love that kind of thing. My wife being one of them. She works in payroll. It's just not something that I could do every day, but she finds joy in having tasks and getting them done. So how can we show them that we're so grateful for those gifts? We need to tell them specifically, I am so thankful that you're on this team. I couldn't do what you're doing. And we couldn't do what you're doing without you. So I'm not an expert at communicating. All you have to do is ask Megan. But I've seen the effects that communicating in this way can have. I think that I just started to scratch the surface and realizing what effect that I can have in that way. And I want others to feel that as well. So my ask of you today is this. Who are you going to encourage today? If you don't know, it's simple. God knows. All you have to do is ask him. He'll tell you, I promise. So that's it for this month. I hope that you have a blessed month and reach out to somebody today and tell them how much you love them.
Great.
Yep. Other than not being able to say Thessalonians.
There you go.